Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. It is Project Blogrunner with you today, guys, and I just got home. I had my exams. It is overall a decent day. It is late, but I just got home. I open up X, as they say these days, not Twitter, and I see very reliable report from Rashad Rahman that Dro is leaving Barcelona this month. Offers already on table to pay his 6 million release clause. And I have mixed feelings about this because on the one hand you could say that this is a good move for Dro. He's thinking about his career, and as a footballer you only have one career, so every decision does matter. But on the other side, I do see this as a greedy move from Dro and his agents, in my opinion, because if I were to search it up, I mean, Dro and PSG, right? I do think there was a report that the dressing room is taking it for granted. Yes, exactly. This report word for word from very reliable source that the Barcelona dressing room take it for granted that Dro Fernandez will be joining Paris Saint-Germain. And to me, it screams as though it is just move about money because there is no way that Dro will be playing football at Paris Saint-Germain because they have some incredible players, especially in that area where he operates. Players like Bradley Barcola, players like Mbaye, players like Kvaratskhelia, someone like Ousmane Dembele can play there if it is necessary. Desire Doué, they have so many players in that left wing position, firstly, and secondly, he's not the type of player that will fit in Luis Enrique's system. So for me, this just does not make sense. And as you can see, I asked Grok to put this bozo in PSG jersey. He did relatively good job. I don't know about a sponsor or 5 UCLs that they are listed. They have only one, and also this shit. But overall, it is just an image of drawing PSG jersey, and I do think it inevitably will happen. And to me, it does not make sense. Like, as you can see, I have opened up Sopa score. He did play against Atletico de Madrid, played 15 minutes, did not have much of an impact. He did play against Olympiacos and he did start the game. He was decent in that area. And also, he played against Athletic Club, coming on for Robert Lewandowski. And for me, he's still only 18. He literally just turned 18 5 days ago. So he's just turned 18. Potential is there, and he's extremely raw footballer. And I don't understand why he's leaving so early. And when it comes down to Dro Fernandez, I want to talk about him as a player because for me, he has genuine potential. And for me, the best position for Dro is as this false winger in this position, starting off as a left winger and drifting inside, but not drifting inside here, maybe sometimes coming deeper and actually controlling the game, getting the ball, making decent decisions, either passing the ball back or moving his body very smoothly because he does move very well. He can easily beat players and just play very smart balls. Let's just put in someone like Alejandro Balde. Let me find a number 3 if you ought to have Balde here. Dro is someone who is extremely capable of just turning, beating his man and playing very good ball to Alejandro Balde. So he has technical acumen that is necessary to play for Barcelona. And in my opinion, if he were to play him against teams like Girona, teams like any team in Spain, Real Oviedo, for example, he would do a relatively good job as that left winger, replacing either Rashford or someone like Rafinha. Of course, very different profiles. Rafinha is more, sorry, Rafinha is more of a mover around everywhere, just making smart runs and cutting inside, also dropping deeper. And he does make things happen, whereas Rashford is just a player that will try to stay wide and will have very sporadic impact throughout the game, but he will make 2 to 3 great sprints as that left winger and cut inside, most of the times making relatively rush decisions as Rashford does. But Draw is different case, he might lack that physical acumen that, of course, is logical because he's only 18, just turned 18, but he has mental and technical attributes to excel. And final thing I want to say about this is the fact that Dro Fernandez is a very technical player. If you don't know, he can play as a cam, he can play as a left winger, and he's very, very technical. And I cannot think of a comparison because it becomes difficult. Because he glides so well, he almost moves like Pedri in a sense. Of course, Pedri is genuinely magician, but the way Dro moves his body when he turns or makes decisions, it is Pedri-esque, and his composure is also very brilliant, as is expected from La Masia graduate and kid and midfielder. So for me, when it comes down to composure, decision making, passing, technique, anticipation, the most important and crucial attributes in decision making, he is great. But when it comes down to pressing high, dropping deeper, pressing, running back, he lacks those things a lot. And in my opinion, if he does go to a team like PSG, he will inevitably either play for the second team. I have no idea how good or bad PSG's second team is and in which competition they do play. But in my opinion, if he ought to go to PSG, he will not get the necessary minutes, and this is purely financial and economical move because the development has been rushed here, right? Because he's a young kid, he comes through La Masia ranks, he skips the step of playing for Barcelona Athletic, the second team, because Hansi Flick sees talent in him. He trusts him, he calls him up to the first team, he trains with the first team, and he even gets sporadic minutes against big teams like Athletic Club. He like played against Atletico de Madrid. It shows trust. Like, okay, we did not have nor Pablo Gavi nor Firmino Frankie for that game, but it still shows that Hansi Flick did put him in and did trust him to play those minutes. And he did not go more defensive and bring in someone like Marc Bernal, who was coming off of the injury, or even Rooney Bardghji, of course, also someone who is not trusted, but at least he's like 20, 21. He is 20. So it shows that Hansi Flick did trust him. And for Dro to just go there and say, okay, I'm leaving for more playing time, fair enough. But why go permanently and out of all teams go to Paris Saint-Germain? To me, it just does not make sense. It is mind-boggling, and I do think he's making here a mistake, leaving for money, similarly to Ilaik Shmoriba. Of course, he could have a good career, but I see something similar happening with him like Xavi Simons did. He did go to Paris Saint-Germain when he was young. He did not get opportunities. He left for a smaller team like PSV Eindhoven. In my opinion, this guy fits some team like Ajax, Dortmund, Benfica, Porto, classic developmental teams. He should have just gone to Porto, man. What is he doing, man? And I do predict that he will stay at PSG for one season, understand that he's not getting the necessary football, he will leave to a smaller team, and then he will explode, and then either PSG buy him back or bigger team comes sniffing around because I do think Dro has the necessary tools and ability to play at top level. Of course, he is not Yamal level talent or Bernal level talent. I will go that deeply and that confidently. I don't think he is as talented as many La Masia players, even Kubarsi, even Gavi. He is not that talented, but what he has is that flair and that elegance, and that is something that football fans can greatly appreciate. But I don't think a team like Paris Saint-Germain it will get appreciated. So for me, this move just does not make sense, and my overall thoughts are that I am disappointed in him. When it comes down to Barcelona, I don't think that really impacts us much. It's just the fact that we are losing a young kid from academy. Of course, he got like odd minutes here and there, but I hope I don't know who. Maybe someone like Bernal can play more minutes, or maybe Gavi comes back. He can get these minutes from Dro, which were very sporadic, but these were minutes that he played. And overall, we are getting 6 million for him. Hopefully, maybe it is enough, considering that Ter Stegen is leaving too for Girona, to maybe make a move for a center back. But knowing our board, there is roughly 1% chance we will go for a center back. Of course, Oscar Mingueza, this guy is also leaving to Juventus, I'm hearing, right? And if they actually sell him for any money, Barcelona will get 50%, and I would say maybe they buy him for 4 to 6 million. Barcelona could get like 2 to 3 million. Let's say Barcelona get 3 million. We sell Dro 6 million, 9 million. Little bit of money from Ter Stegen. Consider wages of Dro, small wages of Ter Stegen. Maybe you can generate 10 million of fair play. Maybe you can bring in very cheap center back, which is necessary, but I don't think it will happen. But overall, on Dro, I think he's making a mistake. I think he should have stayed because Flick trusted him. Flick had a plan. Yes, he did not play every single game like Lamine Yamal does or Pedri does, but Dro has to understand he is not Lamine Yamal or Pedri. Simple as that. And in my opinion, the dynamic of Lamine Yamal right wing and Dro left wing would not have worked because Yamal is more of a player that likes to drop deep, create, and he has lost a lot of his physical attributes recently because of his injuries. He has lost his burst of speed and acceleration. But in my opinion, Dro could have like replicated that on left side, and on right side we would have got like someone capable to replace Yamal, and we would have had a great dynamic of Dro backup controlling player and right wing backup player who is very fast. Think Adama Traore, think Rafinha, and then Rooney Bardghji maybe playing as a midfielder, something like that, or moving Yamal to midfield, and then you could have interesting ideas. But overall, in my opinion, Dro is making an error and mistake here, and I do think that his career trajectory will go down, and his ceiling is a player of team like Tottenham, Chelsea, maybe Arsenal, and those are great teams, right? No pun intended. But what I mean is that I don't see him playing as a starter and as an important piece in a team like Barcelona, Real Madrid, God knows, maybe Bayern Munich, Manchester City, for example. I just don't see it. Even though I can see him in Manchester City's shirt, I don't particularly think he can become a crucial player there. So those are my overall thoughts on him leaving. Not really, as a Barcelona fan, I'm frustrated about it or like disappointed, or I think it impacts us a lot. To me, it's just a mistake from a young kid that he will regret in 3 to 5 years' time. But time will tell, and if he goes to PSG, I don't even know if I wish him the best because it is purely financial decision, and it goes against my values, and I don't think I can respect someone who purely chooses money over values and virtues. But it's his life, it's his decisions, and he can do whatever he ought to do. Thank you guys for watching this video. It was Project Blaugrana with you today, guys, and these were my overall thoughts on Dro Fernandez leaving Barcelona. Thank you.